chocolate, yeah. Me chat all, yeah. Each and every day, me every day, yeah. My own. That time of the chase, I'm then no money day, oh. My own. See my heart back, push it up, I dey grind for my kenke. My own. Like the air, I dey feel am for everywhere.
This is Jafric Radio.
My own. See the money, baby, come chop on for me, oh. And I've been saying, Ghana, what's up in the air? What's up in the air? Although my lonely brother, bet chat to me, yeah. Chat to me, girl, yeah. With time, make a carry you. Champagne and I was in Malibu, yeah. And the dinner, I eat it just for two. Me do now, do me baby, yeah. My own. That time of the chase, I'm then no money day, oh. My own. See my heart back, push it up, I dey grind for my kenke. My own. Like the air, I dey feel am for everywhere I dey, oh. My own. See the money, baby, come chop am for me, oh. Nesune sisi kete. On camera footage clean, I know you're risi. Nisi mujire smile, siri. On penny one family, no chili. Hey, me baby ni brownie, yeah. Golden tree chocolate, yeah. Me chatoli, yeah. Each and every day, me every day, yeah. My own. That time of the chase, I'm then no money day. My own. See my heart back, push it up, I dey grind for my kenke. My own. Like the air, I dey feel am for everywhere I dey, oh. My own. See the money, baby, come chop.
This is Jafric Radio.
High grade. Boy. P on the mix. P on the mix.
This is Jafric Radio.
P on the mix. P on the mix.
This is Jafric Radio.
P on the mix. P on the mix. P on the mix.
This is Jafric Radio.
Yo, it's here for you, Mama. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the program. We welcome you to Jafric Radio. This is your DJ Nana Your Pop. Yeah, today I'm going to give you some very nice African music. This is by Samini. This is my own.
My name is Daniel.
It's all about
Jafric Radio.
Anything I did just for two. Me do una would do me ti baby. My own. That time I dey chase and then no money dey. My own. See my heart back push it up and dey grind for my kenke.
Temperature in Japan today is really hot.
Everywhere I dey. My own. See the money baby come chop on for.
We're still in the summer. Today I went to Yokohama and the weather in Yokohama was so hot. But there was a lot of people in town. No matter how the weather is hot, there were many people in town. Today I'm going to give you some very special program. Today's program is dedicated to some twin sisters. And they are into African fabrics. I've known these people over 25 years ago. They're so lovely. They are twins sisters. And they have been in Japan over years ago. They are so lovely. Today I went to Yokohama. They are having some African fabric pop-up shops at a cafe called Seven Cafe. It was very nice. There were a lot of people there, man. I wish you two were there. Recently it's very good to see how people are really, falling in love with the African culture, African fabrics, African whatever they call it. Africa. I'm so happy to hear that. I know that from yesterday in Kansai, the Kansai meet. Africa Meet Kansai, the group that formed Africa Meet Kansai, are having a very great event now in Osaka, Higashi Osaka, with the help of the UNPD. Africa is booming up. We need right people to come to Africa to invest. Not as those Europeans that they come and steal our goods. No, we don't need those people anymore. When they come, they want to steal and we don't give them the chance. They say they're going to sanction us. See what they're doing in Niger.
This is Jafric Radio.
Yesterday, I joined the Zoom meeting of the NDP forum that was going on in Higashi, Osaka. And it was very nice event.
That time I dey chase and then no money dey. My own. See my heart back push it up and dey grind for my kenke. And money chase and then no money dey.
Well, today the people that I'm going to introduce to you today, they're Black Americans, but they're into the African fashion. They are the twin sisters.
My own. See the money, baby, come chop on for me. Oh.
Africa belongs to the Africans.
See my hot back, push it up, I dey grind for my kenge. My
Chai, 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 chai.
feel am for everywhere I dey go. My own. See the money, baby, come chop 'em for
This is
me.
Jafric Radio.
Without wasting time,
Chase them, then no money. My own. See my hot back, push it up, I dey grind for my kenge.
I would love to go on and introduce you
Feel am for everywhere I dey go.
my guest of the day.
See the money, baby,
But before that,
come for me.
we have a sad news to all Africans that live in Japan. Last Thursday, we didn't hear good news. Our own brother, our own friend, Muroka-san from Zaire, the Republic of Congo. He was in Japan years ago. He was the secretary to Suzuki Muneo. Very interesting, handsome, respectful man. Last Thursday, we heard that he was traveling from Japan to France. And on their way, he passed away on the plane. May his soul rest in peace. We are going to give him a moment of silence. We have really lost a big man in Japan. Pretty much we've lost a big man in Japan. We have really lost a big man. We've really lost a big man. Mr. Muraka, what I'll say is, rest in peace. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Muraka was a very, he's one of the men that really led the African brothers to be on Japanese TV. So, back in Africa or in Ghana, when you lose someone, this is how we celebrate.
This is Jafric Radio.
Mr. Muruaka, Demi Fredriek, Onyankopon Emfa Wunko, na home, Konako home. We give the family of Muraka-san our condolences. As an African, as a black man in Japan, with all due respect, we say, may his soul rest in peace.
This is Jafric Radio.
Yo, Mr. Muraka, Onyankopon Emfa Okra Esie, may the Lord himself grant your soul in peace. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're still on our program, and we are going to introduce to you our guest in the house today. Well, they are not in the studio, but I went to their pop-up shop in Yokohama in Sakura-Gicho this morning, and it was so amazing, meeting these busy people to interview them. I've got a video that I would love to show, so kindly please sit down, relax, get ready, call your friend and say, hey, Jafric Radio is here this afternoon, and we are going to introduce the Africa Fabra. But wait a minute. In my language, in Akan language in Ghana, if you say Fabra, it means bring it. So they say Africa Fabra in a term of Africa fabric, but they turn it and make it Africa Fabra. That means Africa come. I'm so glad to hear this, naming. It means the Africa fabrics or the Africa fashion is going to come to Japan, or they are going to bring it to Japan. So ladies and gentlemen, without wasting time, please watch this video.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Bridgewater. And I'm Beryl Hawkins. And we are the Bridgewater Sisters. And this is our life in Japan.
This is Jafric Radio.
good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Wow, it's been eons, so many years since we have really had a chance to sit down and talk with you because we all have such busy lives.
I know. Thank you so much for the other day, joining us on Jafric Radio by Vmix on our Go Show.
Okay.
Yeah. So today you invited me here, but before we go on, I would like to talk to you about, your life here in Japan. So if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, I'll start with you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Cheryl Bridgewater, and I've been in Japan for quite a long time, doing wonderful things like acting jobs with Pop and his company, and singing jobs. I'm a professional jazz singer, pop singer, and I also teach music at international schools in Japan. So I've had a wonderful, wonderful career and life in Japan.
Thank you. And
Well, hello again, Pop. My name is Beryl Hawkins, and we actually came to Japan at the same time quite a few years ago, and it's been actually an adventure, an ongoing adventure that continues to be really, really exciting. I'm basically working, teaching broadcasting and journalism. That's what I used to do back in the States. And so those media is my first love. Singing, of course, singing, and I'm also a professional jazz singer. And we'll get into the whole flow into fashion in a minute. But we've had a really just a really fulfilling life here in Tokyo. And I also wanted to say that when I was in the States, I was touring and performing with top R&B groups all over the world, playing piano. I started off as a professional piano player. I was playing with the Stylistics, Cleftones, 50s groups, touring all over the world. I had a wonderful career, but then I decided to come to Japan. So that's been my life.
why Japan?
Actually, my parents lived here. My mom and dad lived in Japan. Actually, let me just say, our parents lived in Roppongi. Isn't that cool?
Oh my goodness.
Yes, because the American housing area for the embassy employees is in Roppongi. So I came here many years ago to hang out with my mother.
How long ago?
Oh, that was in the 70s, in the mid-70s. That was my first time coming to hang out here in Tokyo. And we were going to festivals. My mother spoke Japanese, and it was just an unusual kind of experience, I think, being in. And I fell in love with Tokyo. And the reason my father was here is because he was a foreign service diplomat.
Wow.
He lived and traveled in many countries in Asia. This was his specialty.
How many countries?
India, Philippines, Japan, and Korea, South Korea.
So, all right, can you tell us a bit about your background?
Well, that really is our background, As a matter of fact, our classmate is sitting over there, Taka. He's going to come on camera for a second now, just to say hi. We were in high school together in New Delhi, and we were actually neighbors in an area called Sundarnagar. That's Taka.
Wow. In India?
In India, yeah. So we were there in the 60s, the mid-60s.
Wow. So from India you came to Japan?
No, from India we went back to the States for college. For university. In university. Then we lived in New York and DC and had our careers, and then decided to come to Japan.
So before you told me that, you're a singer and you also do broadcasting. You
Yes,
do the broadcasting.
yes.
And then what else?
I do piano.
Piano. So piano, and you told me that you have worked with some very famous people.
Yeah.
For example, who have you been playing with?
The Stylistics.
Who are they? I don't know.
Stylistics are our famous R&B singing group that are very, very popular in Japan. One of their famous songs is Bech Bagali Wow. Which I think a lot of people in Japan, they have a big fan base here.
Oh, really?
In Japan. They play at Billboard every year,
Oh, wow.
packed for a week. And when I worked in broadcasting, I was able to interview a lot of famous people, celebrities, senators, congressmen. And also in New York, I worked with Planned Parenthood, Faye Waddington, who was an amazing activist for pro-choice activists.
Okay.
And so I also worked with Dr. Benjamin Crooks at the NAACP. So I was also doing PR for a civil rights organization. So I've done the nonprofit, I worked at NBC, the corporate, and now we're just doing a whole mix of, basically teaching at institutions.
So what do you guys do now in Japan? What do you do?
Well, I'm basically still teaching broadcasting at Temple University, Japan.
Oh.
And I'm teaching music at several international schools before, but now I'm working at Horizon International School in Yokohama.
And so the fashion part of our life has been ongoing since we were actually young girls.
Yeah, I would really want to go on the fashion side. I can see you with this very, unique, beautiful African fabrics. What are these?
Well, African fabrics are very special. As a matter of fact, at the Brooklyn Museum a couple of months ago, they had a huge exhibition of African fabrics and fashions. It was the first time. It was actually a traveling exhibition from one of the museums in London. And so it was a big introduction, and a lot of celebrities came to that particular exhibit, and they were actually going into like a history of how African fabrics, have become popular.
This is Jafric
over the
Radio.
years, and lots of gorgeous designs, and so that was actually the inspiration for this event, because we said, why don't we do a kind of a small version of a fashion art exhibit,
So getting to our roots, our sewing fashion roots. Our grandmother, we used to spend our summers with our grandmother. She was a tailor. And she was an entrepreneur, actually. She had a boarding house, a big house. She housed a funeral car. She was the entrepreneur in the Chapel Hill, North Carolina. But a big part of her entrepreneurial business was tailoring.
Wow.
So I remember she had one room that was her sewing, tailoring room, because she had clients coming in all the time, and it was kind of a dark room, and she would tell us, don't go in that room. So it was, for young girls, it was like a mystery. We were like always trying to find some. She had dress forms in there. So that was part of our upbringing, as well as, of course, my mother, who has been my greatest inspiration. She actually worked at a shirt factory during World War II. So she got that professional experience, tailoring, on a commercial level. And then she continued to do just fabulous design.
This is Jafric Radio.
But the reason why she continued is because back then it was difficult for middle class blacks, African Americans, to actually go to a dress shop and get clothes, because we wouldn't be waited on. The salespeople would ignore you. So my mother, instead of having to deal with those indignities, she said, well, I'll just make all your clothes. And she made all of our clothes when we were growing up through junior high school until we moved to
And
India.
this is a result of segregation in the States. It's very, very prevalent, very obvious, and it permeated our lives in so many ways. So people had to find ways to get around it.
Wow.
Yes. So we learned how to sew from her. We spent many hours in the fabric stores with her. And
most young girls are going to like the park and the playground and playing softball or something like that. We did a little bit of that, but most of the time she was dragging us into these fabric shops.
Wow.
These big fabric shops. And she would say, like, touch the fabric, touch it. And just to accommodate her, I would touch it, you know what I mean? But that's how I learned a lot about fabric, by touching and feeling and understanding how you can drape it, how you can work.
And we used to work with Vogue patterns, the best and we used to look at fashion books, and so she really helped us to get a sense of fashion. And then we moved. Then when we both moved to New York, we were surrounded by New York, the fashion capital of the world.
Wow.
Yeah. Of the United States, I'll say United States. And we spent, many hours with our friends who were into fashion, going to their stores and learning from them. And we used to hang around a lot of celebrities.
Wow.
And also our main hangout spot was off Broadway, which was a kind of a center for a lot of the Broadway stars and other movie people coming through. She would have pictures of all of the celebrities that came through her shop. And she was...
Like who? This is Jafric
I
Radio.
saw Diane Carroll and when I was
we were there. Abby Lincoln came in.
Abby
Lincoln.
Abby
She was
Lincoln.
Max Roach's wife. And Abby Lincoln was a very famous black film star.
Abby Lincoln.
Abby
Okay.
Lincoln, yeah.
Okay.
And so I came out of the dressing room, and she had on this really intricate, really amazing looking hat, and I was like, oh, I really like that hat on you. And then I motioned over to my friend Pat, and I was like, you know what I mean? Because you have to be cool in New York when you're working, meeting celebrities. So
Wow.
that was
But one thing that the owner of this shop said, dress for the theater of your life.
every day.
Every day.
Wow.
Dress for the theater of your life. And the owner would come in and she would sit at the table and she'd have on an elegant hat and beautiful clothes every day. Older woman, and she was just elegant.
Very elegant.
Very elegant. And she would comment on, oh yeah, I like that on you, or no, I don't. So I learned a lot about how to style clothes.
Wow.
I remember one time Pat would say to me, turn it inside out and wear it like that. I mean, just really creative. Belts, jewelry, and just so much we learned about how to put style and put things together.
Then, that means your mom has really given you a very great future.
Absolutely.
This
Right.
is her ring.
Your mom's ring?
Yes, my mom's ring. I'm wearing it now.
I miss my mom.
So I just wanted
Is
to
she still alive?
No, she's not.
We also, when we were in India, like many Indian families, we had a part-time tailor who stayed at the house 3 days a week. Oh, we kept him busy.
Really?
We were cutting patterns and he would stitch up the garments. And so
He was sewing for 3 women, right?
Oh my
So
goodness.
3 days a week he was at
So,
our house.
that's why today, you guys, now, you guys can do all this fashion, pop shops. How long have you been, doing those African fabric goods?
About 3 years.
when the pandemic started,
We started.
we decided we wanted to make face masks. We
Right.
started with that. And then we just started doing other things, making other
And
things.
going back to, like, we used to make our stage costumes for our gigs and everything because they're too expensive to buy. And we knew we could really come up with something original, flashy, So we were consistently sewing throughout all those years before. But now we're just focusing on the African fabrics, which we absolutely love. Reminds me a lot of, we spent a lot of time traveling through Asia and Malaysia. Malaysia has the batik,
Wax batik.
and it's the same process involved. So that's why I think we're drawn to the African fabrics, and also the African fabrics. All of the designs are so special and unique, and you know what? They speak to me. The designs speak to me, and that's why for all of these, we have names for all of our dresses.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Later, can you tell us some names of some?
Well, sometimes I make up the name right on the spot. You know what I mean? But
So-
this one I don't really. Oh, this one.
What
I
is the
think
name of this?
Blue Sea.
Blue Sea.
Blue Sea.
I don't think I have a name for this one.
That's I would say sand in the desert.
Sand in the desert.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it actually reminds me of the desert I got a chance to go to Africa twice.
Oh, where did you go?
I went to Eritrea.
Oh.
I was invited to an international school as an artist in residence to teach music. And this was my first time in Africa. And desert, I went through Egypt to get to Eritrea. And of course, I saw the pyramids and was fascinated. And for me, when she says speaks to me, when I got off the airplane in Egypt, I smelled the air and my whole spirit realized I had been there before. I had been to Africa before. I felt that I belonged there and that I had been there before. And it was a feeling and a spirit that I can't describe. It was just, I knew I was there before. And so anyway, I went to Eritrea and spent, I went
How long were
twice.
you there for?
I was there 3 weeks each time. I was there twice.
Wow.
And I got a chance to hang with the Eritrean people. And, you know, with the school we did a concert.
And also,
I learned about
she had a
Eritrea.
really nice picture with a donkey when you went out to the countryside in Eritrea. For example, this one is called Yellow Road.
Yellow Road.
Yellow Road. This one is, I'm calling this one Orange Oriental. Just to give you an example of all the names. And I love making up names.
So I think that my connection with actually going to Africa and actually being there, and I love the Eritrean people. They embraced me as if I was one of their own. Because for the first time in my life, I could actually walk around and I looked like everybody else. They were speaking Tigrinya to me. They thought I spoke the language. They thought I was Eritrean.
You are.
Yeah.
So that was just a
And
wonderful
also, let me
thing.
just add too that the Ethiopian fabrics are different from the African wax print. And you know, it's the white and the softer with the the lines in it. So we're thinking about adding that in the future once we get that hookup, you know, in terms of adding that. But I want to really stick with African fabrics because
Why
of our
African fabrics?
Because of our heritage, you know.
Today, I'm here today from, all the way from Saitama to Yokohama.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Today you're doing a pop-up event.
Yes.
When are you doing this
So we
event?
started actually yesterday, but we're going the entire weekend, so all day today until 6, and then tomorrow from 11 to 6. And as you can see on the other side of the flyer, it features so we're featuring
Beautiful.
dresses.
This is
like
Jafric
what we're
Radio.
wearing, of course. And then I wanted Barry's going to come over and show you his Barry. You're going to come over and show us the Zelensky bag that we collaborated on together. Yeah. So
This was, as you can see, I'm a fan of Zelensky, and I asked for a bag to be made to reflect my green uniform, and this is what they came up with. I think it's pretty effective.
Yeah.
It's got African fabrics and got a green background. I use it a lot. Good for supermarket shopping.
Really? That's nice. What's the name?
Zelensky bag.
Zelensky.
Zelensky bag.
Zelensky?
Yeah.
From
Ukraine.
Ukraine, yes. That's our tribute to Zelensky. Because we admire him so much.
Okay.
So that's it.
And your name, please?
I'm Barry.
Barry, Mr.
Yeah.
Barry.
Yeah.
Where you from?
I'm from New Zealand originally.
New Zealand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How long have you been in Japan?
Since 1973, back and forth.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr.
Okay,
Barry.
thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimashita.
Oh, Carl hasn't come over. So getting back to our future and what
Right.
we plan to do another pop-up shop fashion show here in June.
June, next year, June.
Yeah, next June. Yeah.
Fashion show.
Carl.
Wow, I would love to be a model.
Okay, you're on. So we're collaborating with our dear friend Carl, and he will introduce himself.
We're talking about the future of Africa.
Hello, Mr. Carl.
Hi.
Your name and what you do, please?
Yeah. So my name is Carl Burrow. I live in Tokyo. I run a strategy consultancy company. here in Tokyo, and I'm also part of my company. We focus on startup and entrepreneurship, and that's part of my venture capital arm. A lot of the work that we do is that we look at startups, early stage startups that we want to invest in and help them grow here in the market too as well, and not just here in Japan, but I run a accelerator program in Vietnam, in Ho Chi Minh City right now, so that we are looking at the growth of startups there. But just to pivot back to what I'm doing in Japan is that a lot of work focusing on transformation, strategy consulting, and then helping companies grow from organizational transformation, business agility. And I've been doing it for the past 14 years after leaving my career working in investment banking and finance, which I worked in for 22 years. So, and I made a pivot after the financial crisis in 2009, got out of business, started my own company, co-wrote a book on business models, design thinking, human-centered design, and corporate strategy. But my main niche in what I like to do is that I like to look at startups, early stage startups, and see how we can help them grow by being a mentor and a coach. But to add more clarity on that one, when we work with startups, we like to help startups grow. I don't have a strong belief in exit strategies unless there's a real strong incentive for a startup to.
This is Jafric Radio.
The actual premise behind this is that basically, if you are a startup and if you're an entrepreneur, and if you spent so much effort in your business to start your business, you should not want to exit your company quickly. And that means that you're profit-minded. You're not focused on sustainability and sustaining your model, your business model, your startup. So what Cheryl and Burrow came to me with about 3 years ago, they came in with a unique idea. And at first I looked at it, I was a little bit skeptical. And I guess that was mainly due to the COVID situation. How companies, how startups want to get into the game. And by the way, I'm a professor. I teach startup and entrepreneurship at Keio University. I've been teaching there for the past 8 years. I teach human-centered design for startups and entrepreneurship, business model innovation. And their idea came to me during the COVID pandemic. And I said, okay, well, we'll see. And so we spent a lot of time, and I was pretty much coaching them things they need to do, how to create a pitch deck, how to create their business model. Not so much about the business plan, because I really don't believe in business plans at the early stages. I ask my entrepreneurs 2 basic questions. Do you have a customer? Do you have a paying customer? Do you have a compelling value proposition? Okay? And have you done a lot of customer discovery, and have you scanned the market? And with that said, they came up with something that seemed pretty reasonable. And but as I said before, during the COVID situation, we was trying to find out how are they going to penetrate the market? How are they going to acquire a unique section or sector in the market? And understanding the way the Japanese economy has been for the past 10 years, that basically startups come and go. And the startup mentality here in Japan is quite different from the way it is in the United States and the rest of the world. Is where startups in Japan basically they start up and they want to get acquired by a bigger company. So there's no sustainability, no growth in some sectors. Okay, so what they have done really is come up with something, if I could call it a unique white space or a potential blue ocean, where they're leveraging the ideals and the talents and skills, what they know. And then from a global perspective, they want to branch out and improve the end-to-end customer journey, not just in Japan, but also from a global perspective as well to Africa, because the fabrics that they're using and the textiles that they're using for the designs and prints, it's quite unique. I've never seen anything like this in Japan. And so that's where I think that the opportunity is there that they can help grow the market. They can help penetrate certain sectors. And there's a target customer base that they can focus on. Now, the target customer base can be anywhere
This is Jafric Radio.
Women, say from 19 to 20 years old, up until 30 to 35 years old, 36 to 45, and all the way up. So there are 4 or 5 different customer segments that they can provide compelling value propositions. And so, in a nutshell, I'm in. I've had them nurture it for the past few years, and I stayed back, and I did it on purpose. So I wanted to see if they got it, if they really wanted to do this, because I've coached a lot of startups, and they gave up after a year and a half and said, "I just can't do it." So I was watching them in the background. I wasn't ignoring them. They would call me and ping me. I said, "Well, okay, we'll see." This time, okay, I said, "Okay, they're in it for the long haul."
Why did you say okay?
Because if you're a startup, and if you say you're a startup, and if you can't put the effort in, and if you're thinking short term, okay, then you're not really a startup. But they've been at this
is
for
Jafric
and
Radio.
it's part of their career set and their skill set. But they've been doing it all their life. But now they've reached the point right now that, okay, well, we want to take this to the next phase. So we have a brand, we have a market, we see that there's a market, we have a skill set. So it's more like this is a second or a third stage of their lives right now that they want to go into. So now I'm in this time. I'm in on it and everything. And we're going to focus on this and talk about this later, what are the next steps and everything. And events like this, like a pop-up shop, is one of the first stages that you do. And you get a chance to showcase your product and your service and your offering to the market, to the customer base, or to the potential customer base, that you can offer a compelling value proposition. So my belief is that you're never too old to be a startup. You're never too old to be a startup. You can be a startup anytime in your life.
Just like Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Just like Kentucky Fried Chicken. And just like McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's business model was based off of real estate. It was nothing about hamburgers. It was based off of real estate. That was Ray Kroc's business model, is buying property. And that is the McDonald's model. Okay, buy property. Put up restaurants. The burgers and everything was an afterthought. Okay, so in closing, as I said before, I believe in them. They have something that's unique. They have unique value propositions. The product and the actual product offering is there, and I'm impressed. And I'm here to provide them advice and mentor them and work with them, and we can help build a team and do something different. Okay?
Hey, arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you.
You see, we're in good hands. We have the best mentor in the world.
Beautiful.
And we've known Carl for around the time we met you. We've known each other for a very long time. Over 20 years.
Okay. So,
This is Jafric Radio.
Joseph is over there. He's the owner of the cafe. You want to bring him over, Cheryl?
Hi.
Are you the one that called?
No. Yeah, I called you.
Oh.
Yeah. Your name, please?
Joseph. Amato. Yes.
And I was told this cafe belongs to you.
Yes.
Why did you do this cafe?
It was a lifelong dream to create a arts and cultural space with music and great food. Yes.
Do you play some music?
Yes, koto and piano.
Koto and piano.
Yes.
I heard that you were a professional koto player.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, how long
I've
have you been
given that
playing?
up though.
This is
I've given
Jafric
that up
Radio.
though because I'm now working here at the cafe.
Wow,
So, yes.
it sounds very interesting.
Yes.
I would love to interview one day.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we'll keep in touch.
Yes. Okay.
And thank you so much for giving us a chance.
I'd also like you to meet Mimi. She is also on our team of Africa Fabra.
Okay.
And we've been going back and forth to each other's house over the last month or so. Anyway, working on a sewing project. So I'd like to introduce Mimi.
Hi.
Hello, Mimi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Your name again, please?
Mimi, Raymond.
Raymond. Are you half Japanese?
I'm Japanese.
Are you half Japanese?
No, not half Japanese. I'm
Full Japanese.
Full Japanese.
Okay. I was told that you also did some products or some items.
Well, I helped.
What do you do?
I joined a little bit.
Any stuff that we can see?
But it's just yeah, it was just the little things. I did the bag.
A bag?
She asked me the bag, and also just to try the phone case, the mobile phone case, and it's called back organizer.
Oh, the phone case. So you designed this?
Yes, she did. Yeah, she's helped with new products.
Oh my goodness! Why? Wait, were you a designer before? Have you designed stuff?
No. I just like.
This is Jafric
sew.
Radio.
I used to sew for my children. Not my parents, my grandparents. Yeah, had a kimono shop in Shinagawa.
Oh wow!
And my mother she was creating all the dolls.
Japanese doll?
She's both European and Japanese.
Okay.
And she had every year until the pandemic. She had in KO Plaza Hotel the March 3rd, the Girls' Day. The
Hinamatsuri.
The tiny one, the tsurushibina, hanging from the ceiling. That's what she did.
Wow. You have a great people on your team.
And also, Mimi, actually, she has been in the celebrity circuit for many years from her family, so she's into fashion, being around the people. And
We're going to wrap up, so any information to our viewers?
well, please come and join us this weekend. As you can see, it's a pretty lively and a fun atmosphere, and we've got lots of colorful designs for
This
your
is Jafric
eyes
Radio.
and for your eye palette, and we just really look forward to seeing you. You can drop by anytime, Saturday, today, and Sunday.
And the last thing to say that we're really very committed to the fashion in Japan. We've been watching the fashion all over the world for so many years, and we plan to make a significant contribution to the fashion scene in Japan. Very much.
Arigato.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
This is Jafric Radio.
That is my kind of girl. My kind of girl. Now that is my kind of girl. She got the perfect kind of African beauty.
That's my kind of girl.
She's very practical.
The twin sisters.
Kind of
Africa Fabra.
and very punctual when it comes to checking.
I know that you really enjoy this interview.
With the skin like a queen.
Africa is for Africans.
Feel like a king.
We have to do our own business. We have to trade within Africa. We have to trade within ourselves. I love that.
Because traffic, Afrocentric beauty strike like.
We've got some comments here that I would like to read.
I like the kind of face me see.
Mr. Bernard says, watching you with a knee eyes from Kaguchi. Thank you, Mr. Bernard. Mr. Michael says, good job, bro. Thank you.
This is Jafric Radio.
Me that's say. I have brother Joe Bafo from Nagoya watching us. I'm more sure I'm commenting. Oh, Reverend Nyako Asare, Ebenezer Nyako Ansa. All the way from Sunyani. Reverend Pacho, what to say? Let me sure I no pay. What's a good work? What's up for me that say? Mia Penny. Dr. Samuel Amponsa is also watching us from Saitama. And Mia Madame for Bernard J. all the way from Yokohama. Yokohama for the two dresses here.
Kind of girl that I want. Best lady, she's rich in her mind and she comes from Dima. My kind of girl.
Fia Scala is watching us. Thank you for watching us. We have Doris Umbuke also watching us. Umbu Ike. Thank you. Sister Doris, thank you for watching us. How are you doing? Drop your location.
Description of African beauty. No makeup, she's natural. I like her machine. Is this love that I'm feeling? Now that is the kind of girl that I want. Best lady, she's rich in the mind.
This is the love that we are feeling. This is by Batsman, the legend. Yeah, Ghana #1 musician. Deep in her eyes. Bernard J say, good job, bro. Big up. Yeah. Okay. This is the information that we have. So people in Yokohama, sorry. This is Africa Fabra. It's Africa Fabric. What you say? Your friend know Africa Fabric. In my know Africa Fabra. In my language, Fabra means bring it. So for Africa, bra, go and bring Africa. They are doing this event at the 7 Arts Cafe in Yokohama, close to Sakuragicho Station. Today, tomorrow is the last day, from 11 o'clock until 6 p.m. Please, you can go and then enjoy yourself. The cafe is a very nice cafe, you know, and also you can see all the nice design of clothes, the African clothes that our sister have got over there. So please go and, you know, tear your eyes. Go try with nisu. If you need any information, you can contact Jafric Radio and we can help you out.
Girl, yeah. Anytime she comes my way, now that is my kind of girl. My kind of girl.
Oh, Mr. Bernard, thank you.
And I know
he says, you really did a good job. I love it.
It's really real. Oh yeah. She really make my day.
This is Jafric Radio.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is our last music. When this song or when this music ends, we are going to close down our curtains for our next program. Waka Sensei no Tanoshi Nihongo. Opese wuti Japanese. If you want to learn Japanese, please tune in for the next program. Waka Sensei no Nihongo.
This is Jafric Radio.
Thank you so much for making time for Jafric Radio. Thank you for tuning in. We love you, and I know that you love us. And looking forward to serve you again next week. And also tomorrow, yeah, our programs are going to be. So as I said, our next program is Waka Sensei no Tanoshi Nihongo. Tune in Stay tuned. Don't leave. Come back. We're going to start from 6 o'clock. Waka Sensei is there, getting ready to come to the studios and then teach us some Japanese. Thank you for coming and tuning in and watching Jafric Radio, the special program, Africa Fabra. God bless you all. This is what I got today. Very nice. Nice. Very nice bag. Souvenir that I was given. I love the design. Look at this. You see, the yellow pattern with a button here, you can use this to go for shopping, You can use it to go to work. It's very, very nice. I love it. How much is this? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, it's not all that expensive. It's only 4,000 yen plus. It's very nice, handmade. Made in Japan. African fabric made in Japan. Yay. I'm going to use this tomorrow. I'll take this to church tomorrow. Yeah. I'll put my stuff in and take it to church tomorrow. Yay.
This is Jafric Radio.
So now we are going to close the curtains for the special program on Africa Fabra. So get tuned. Don't leave. 6 o'clock. Please come back for Waka Sensei no Nihongo, Tanoshi Nihongo. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
One online radio station based in Japan. Hi, my name is The Laboratory, an international flutist from Ghana.
This is Jafric
I urge you
Radio.
all to listen to Jafric Radio station based in Japan. Jafric Radio, Radio mu papa. Jafric Radio, Radio mu kiko. Jafric Radio, Yamamu kasia bopa. Jafric Radio, Yamamu futu papa. Jafric Radio, Yamamu kasia bopa. Jafric Radio, Yamamu adiswa papa. Jafric Radio, Radio, Jafric Radio. Jafric Radio, your number one online radio station based in Japan. Jafric Radio, Radio Mukiko. Jafric
This is
Radio.
Jafric Radio.
Yamamu kasia bopa. Jafric Radio.
This is Jafric Radio.